Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. My name is Jeremy Spillman. I'm the founder and CTO of TapLink. And thanks to LogMeIn for hosting us. It seems appropriate here at LogMeIn to talk for a few minutes about passwords. So you guys probably all use passwords every day. I'm sure you all love passwords. Who here loves passwords? Okay, there's at least one of you. Thank you so much for that. Okay, I love passwords. Let me tell you why. Passwords are a secret you can keep in your mind. It's a secret that you can share with someone with a breath. You can't forget it at the kitchen table or in your hotel room. Passwords are amazing. The problem is we can't keep them secure. So that's what we're going to solve. Password security is broken. You've all heard about the LinkedIn breach, the MySpace breach. They're in the news every day. Now we're getting emails from companies saying, hey, someone else over there was breached, and so maybe you should change your password over here. As users, we all suffer the consequences when companies don't secure their password databases. Our technology will protect password databases even if your password is simple, memorable. I'm tired of companies pushing the cost and the complexity of the end users. We don't need multi-factor, we don't need hardware tokens, we don't need passwords with 72 characters, letters, numbers, and symbols. What we need is security on the back end that's invisible to the end user that makes passwords impossible to steal. Welcome you guys to come to our booth and we'll tell you about the crypto. But what we can tell you at 30,000 feet is that if you are a website that is logging in users, if you are authenticating with passwords and you have a password database, if you want to protect that database, we can help. We're a cloud service, it's a simple API, it's an easy integration, and it will eliminate password breaches from your list of worries. It's available now, and I'm going to tell you really, really high level how this works because, okay, how can you make passwords impossible to steal? When users submit their password to your server, okay, when users submit passwords to your server, typically what people do is something called hashing. Okay, it takes your password, transforms into something that looks like a random number. The problem is, attackers can take that. If they can guess your password, they can verify it. It's called an offline attack. It's the reason why we deal with these multi-million password breaches almost every week, it seems like. What we use is a massive pool of completely random data. Okay, it sounds a little bit crazy, but hear me out. A massive pool of completely random data. Imagine racks of solid-state drives in our data center filled with random data. We take the hash, we entangle it with the random data such that if somebody wants to crack a password, they have to steal the database from the company. They also have to steal the entire data pool. The bigger we make it, the safer everybody is. Every site shares the same data pool, so it has huge economy of scale. And this becomes essentially a common defense fund for passwords. This is a paradigm shift. By making passwords impossible to steal, it protects the end user, it protects the company from potentially costly enforcement actions from the FTC. It's high performance, it's scalable, and it's economical. This is invisible to the end user, it's security meeting usability. Thank you very much for your time, and we are TapLink, and we'll make your passwords impossible to steal. I'm told I can take a couple questions if anyone wants to shout it out from the audience.
So does this depend on the services you use implementing or adopting your technology, or can I just use this as a
Yeah, so our approach, instead of trying to target the end user and trying to add something for the user to do, this is something that the service provider would implement on their back end. It's completely invisible to the end user, so it doesn't make your job logging in any harder. It protects the service provider and it protects the end user, but it's something that the service provider implements on the back end. Thank you very much. Sure.
Great job, Jeremy. My question is, I have customers who are large banks with millions of users. Would I use your technology to put it in my Amazon cloud, or are we going to bypass it through their data center?
Whoever is actually doing, sure, it's a tricky one. So the question that I heard is, if you are a service that is authenticating users for your customer, so maybe like a Facebook login or a Google login or an XYZ, like an OAuth login, who would use the service? Would it be the would it be the customer or the customer's customer? I guess it's whoever is storing the passwords today. Whoever has a password database that's sort of the target for that hackers are trying to get into. That's what they want to steal so that they can monetize. That's what we protect. So wherever those passwords are at rest, that's where our technology can protect them at rest, regardless of the complexity of the password, make them impossible to steal. Thank you, Rob. Thanks everyone for coming. Wait, can I get one more?
Yeah, you
I was fast. So.
I learned from your man that you have a for hacker
Not for the end user, but it's, he heard that we're targeting large companies. Is it also accessible to individual users or smaller companies? So we have a cloud service that's sort of just like an Amazon API pricing model where you can pay as you go. So it scales down to, if you have 100 users, if you have 1,000 users, if you have 100,000 users, 100 million users, we can protect your database.
Who's your biggest customer?
Today, we launched at RSA. Since then, we have about 40 sites that have implemented this. We're in production. We have 2 data centers that are actually hosting the data pool on the West Coast and in Dallas. I can't name a biggest customer, but I can say that we've authenticated over 1 million logins at this point. The technology is live and it's ready. Thank you.
All right, thank you.